So continuing on from talking about my evidence for teaching standard 5, in terms of incorporating what I'd learned into my lesson plans, I tried to differentiate in several ways. Firstly, in terms of the resources I provided, so they gave differing amounts of help, in terms of the bronze worksheet providing the most help and the gold resource sheet providing the least help, and looking to challenge pupils. I still, on reflection, feel like I've got more to develop in terms of this area, and specifically in terms of ensuring that pupils who pick the resources can then justify why they've picked the amount of help that they have, and ensuring I'm still making sure that pupils are held accountable for the progress they're making by either A, having some sort of form of system in place so that I can verify why pupils picked the resource that they did, and equally fading that type of scaffolding as the lesson and the weeks go on. So not only did I differentiate the resources, but I also allowed pupils to use different equipment, so balloons, dodgeballs, stuff that moved slower, which allowed them to practice the technicality of the shots without being limited by, for example, something like their strength or their height. And as I said, I closely linked the equipment used. So, for example, the balloon, dodgeball, or volleyball, along with the net height and how pupils attempted the spike in this sense. So by that means, they've got 9 potential different variations with which to attempt their spike to find something appropriate to their level. Equally, I used a monitoring system whereby I awarded a point scoring system for the combination of these options, whereby something like a volleyball over a higher net with their partner setting the ball up for them would give a higher combination of points than something like a balloon over a low net height where they self-fed. So they were still encouraged to move up this layer of progression, yet I still felt like I made the learning accessible to them. And finally, I differentiated questions in terms of lower order and higher order, and the amount of hints or tips that I provided either through my teaching or through my resources themselves. This reflected well in terms of my lesson feedback, as the PE teacher observing me, the head of department, felt that I'd planned the differentiation, that by giving pupils the ownership of their learning and the ability to engage in a wide variety of differentiated resources, that with limited prior knowledge, pupils were still able to develop their understanding of the skills needed in volleyball.